I'm here with former Vice President Al Gore, the directors of Inconvenient Sequel, and Mr. Jeff Scholes, the CEO of Participant Media. Guys, you've had a magnificent Sundance so far. You were the opening film, and I was there in the Eccles Theater, and from where I sat, the reaction was amazing. So emotional. So, Mr. Vice President, before we get into the details of that, I want to know, for you, I mean, you're a Sundance alum now. How was that?
Well, it was amazing, and Bonnie Cohen and John Schenk have done such an amazing job with this movie. They elicited that reaction from the audience, and every one of the screenings so far, the reaction has been really amazing. People laugh, they cry, they feel really passionate about it.
Obviously, by the title, this is a sequel to The Inconvenient Truth. What were some of the challenges for you guys? Because you took a very different format from the first film.
We sat down at the beginning of this process after we got the call to work on this, which was just an amazing honor. And we sat down. The Vice President gave us a day-long briefing on what has been going on with the climate crisis.
The 10-hour version of the slideshow.
The 10-hour slideshow, we like to call it.
Yes.
As we've all just had this incredibly depressing feeling about what is going on with the environment. Meanwhile, there's been an incredible amount of work in the energy field to bring around about the solutions. So Bonnie and I really, from the very beginning, saw this as kind of a dramatic battle that's going on between the forces that want to kind of keep doing things the way they are, that's got us into this mess, and the forces that are trying to get us out of it, which, by the way, many of which were inspired by the first film. People who work in the alternative energy field.
But also, like many people, we said to ourselves, what has Al Gore been doing for the last 10 years? But what is he doing day to day? He seems to be working all the time on this issue. What does that look like? And when we started to dig into it, we realized there was our drama, because he's working 24/7, he's traveling the world, he's on this, he's beating this drum every day of his life.
Al and I, April 2015, were trying to figure out what next, and should we do a sequel, is it time? And we realized we were coming up on the 10-year anniversary. And a lot of people had the same questions that Bonnie and John might have raised. What's happened? Did things come out the way the first film had predicted? If so, how? If not, why? And also the progress in clean energy. In those years, a lot has happened, good and bad. I think the good outweighs the bad, and we've got some great hope here. But that gave us the permission to start filming, and so we filmed all through the 10th year of post the first film, and we hope that, like the first one, this will unleash an army of people and a lot of young people to realize this issue isn't over, and we can't win this battle without people doing their part.
Now, one of the things, of course, is this film is being released by Paramount later this year, which is going to be a big push for it. Do you see, in that sense, that kind of mainstream wide release will be able to get this out to people? To some people who, like with the first film, weren't particularly concerned about climate change or the environmental movement, but learned things that made them realize, well, this is going to affect my grandchildren. This is going to affect the streets of Miami, as Sequel shows it.
There have been two sets of changes since the first movie, really three. The third one is that since the first movie, people know a lot more about it. There's less of a need to go soup to nuts through exactly what the crisis is all about. But now it's more about the solutions. There are really three questions. Must we change? Yes. Can we change? That answer was yes 10 years ago, but it's definitively yes now. And then third, will we change? And as Jeff mentioned, we have now a sustainability revolution sweeping the world that has the breadth and scope of the Industrial Revolution, which over a long period of time completely changed the world. But this has the speed of the digital revolution. It's happening so quickly. So when you have a massive change happening so fast, that gives us a tremendous amount of hope. Nobody's going to be able to stop this. We are going to win this. But there is still a question as to how quickly we will win it. And will we win it in time to avoid some of these dangerous tipping points that the scientists have long warned us about?
Well, Mr. Vice President, to that, and I know that you met with now President Trump not long after the election. And I know you're being very circumspect about that, and I respect that. But just yesterday, minutes after they took office, climate change disappeared from the White House website, started disappearing from government websites. These are issues that in the last 10 years, President Obama and Vice President Biden and their administration have been advocates of, gone. So I have to ask you honestly, how do you feel about that, and what do you think that says to people?
Any incoming administration changes what the White House official statements are, because it's a new team. But of course, there have been other signs as well that they have a different approach. What
The
will
head
that?
of the EPA, for instance.
Yes, that's right. Good point. But what will this ultimately lead to? There are many chapters yet to unfold here. And as they encounter the reality of this crisis, and even more importantly, as they encounter the reality of the solutions, which are not only available and affordable, they're better in almost every way than continuing to burn fossil fuels. And yes, the carbon polluters have a lot of political power. They have a lot of influence. But the people who want choices to get energy with less pollution and create a future that allows them to say to their kids, we got you, we care about you, we're not going to continue destroying the Earth's ecological system. That movement is unstoppable now.
So then, Jeff, I have to ask you, in 2026, are we going to see Inconvenient The Reckoning?
Well, I think either we're going to be living in a global clean energy world in 2026, or we're going to be wishing we were living in a global clean energy world by that time. And one thing that just left on its own with market forces and current trends and advancements in technology, we will have a global clean energy world by, say, around 2040.